Hello, I'm Tim Rizzi. I'm the PM for the package stage, and today I'm going to be giving a short presentation for an overview of the package stage, as well as a demo and a roadmap review. So let's dive in. When as a PM at GitLab, I talk to customers regularly that want to move away from their existing artifact management solutions and consolidate on GitLab. This slide just summarizes some of the problems that I've heard customers share. For example, from a developer experience perspective, if you're an organization using separate tools for containers and package registries, there's room for optimization there, especially when you know about 25% of developer time is spent managing artifacts, and the cost of an outage or an unplanned outage can be quite expensive. The challenge is helping organizations, especially large enterprise organizations, handle dependency management while dealing with fragmented tooling, addressing security risks both in a proactive and reactive way, and ensuring that the product can scale and perform with your specific needs. Why GitLab? GitLab offers simplified operations. It's just one platform, one approach to artifact management, and you get native CI/CD connectivity. There's built enhanced security with built-in vulnerability scanning, artifact signing, artifact provenance, production excellence. This is something I'm particularly proud of. We have maintained 4 nines of availability for all packaged products for more than 2 years straight on GitLab.com. Two of our engineers are maintainers of the Docker CNCF project. And overall, we offer superior visibility. So you are able to trace a specific package back to its source code, pipeline, and commit data. You're able to set up governance policies, and we support a comprehensive audit trail. All of this means that you can have better collaboration, faster time to value, and lower mean time to repair. Thinking about the GitLab container registry today, I want to highlight that one, it's easy to integrate. One of the nice things about the GitLab container registry is it comes built in with these predefined variables that make it easy to authenticate and publish container images and tags with dynamic names. That eliminates manual configuration, reduces pipeline setup time, and troubleshooting time. This is available today for all GitLab.com users and self-managed customers and dedicated customers. We also offer additional security controls such as protected images, protected tags, and signing with cosign and annotating with cosign. This prevents tampering, ensures compliance, and allows you to verify image and tag provenance. These features are available on GitLab.com. For self-managed, uh, requires the new registry, which you can upgrade, and we'll talk more about that as we go on, and dedicated, which we'll talk more about on the roadmap slide. GitLab also offers vulnerability scanning, so you can set up on-demand and scheduled and and continuous scanning for all container images, so you can catch security issues before deployment. This is included with the Ultimate tier and is integrated with the registry. We also offer cleanup policies for managing storage usage. This is available in all tiers as well, and I'll demo these features as we dive into that. For the package registry, we offer local repository support for Maven, NPM, NuGet, Python, Terraform, and generic packages. These are all GA, all guaranteed to be 4 nines of availability, and every day are working at enterprise scale for our customers. We offer build traceability, so you can link each package to its source branch, commit, and pipeline, which significantly simplifies troubleshooting. A lot of the reasons people land on the user interface is to find out, am I using the correct artifact? And it's troubleshoot when something has gone wrong. We have also launched support for protected packages. So this will allow you to prevent accidental overwrites with policies to allow you to maintain artifact integrity. And this is available for all tiers, and it's currently available for Maven, NPM, Python, and generic packages will be coming soon. We also mentioned that because this is built into GitLab, you get a seamless CI/CD integration. So you could do things like automate releases, you can ensure consistency, and you could use built-in templates and this works for all supported formats. I think it's worth pausing and looking at how does GitLab compare to some of the specialized tools in the market today. The big two players that I hear most often about are JFrog's Artifactory and Sonatype's Nexus. So just thinking about a few key features. In terms of platform integration, with GitLab, you get a complete DevSecOps platform that has the artifact management built in. On our roadmap, we'll continue to build out features for this. Continue to add things like catalog components and build out on the GitLab ecosystem. For JFrog and Sonatype, JFrog more so has more of a platform that they've especially been leaning into, but they are, for the artifact management use case, more of a standalone tool that requires integration with other tools. In terms of repository types, I mentioned on the previous slide, we support Maven, NPM, NuGet, Python, Terraform, Docker, and generic packages. Those are all GA on our roadmap, and I'll get into the roadmap a little bit more after the demo, but we will be tackling the biggest feature gap between JFrog and Sonatype and us today is virtual repositories for all formats. For us, we'll be adding support for containers, Maven, and NPM in 2025 and more in 2026. For JFrog and Sonatype, they support virtual registries for almost all the formats that they have. As far as advanced features go, we have protected packages, cleanup policies, container signing, and we have on our roadmap, we will extend those policies. We'll add more group level controls. So it's easier to set up policies like cleanup policies and have them cascade down into individual projects. And we'll continue to add more security features as we go. For JFrog Artifactory, they have build promotion and advanced distribution. Those are not things that we currently have specific features planned for our roadmap. You could do a lot with GitLab CI, but we don't have the same approach that JFrog does. On the format support, I mentioned the formats we covered earlier. We'll launch support for Debian, RPM, and Ruby gems on the roadmap. JFrog and Sonatype each support over 20 different formats. I see this as both an advantage and disadvantage for us. We're coming later to the market, so we don't have to build out every single package support for every single package type. We're really just trying to do what are the formats that are most impactful for most of our customers. And so if we cover these our existing GA formats plus Debian, RPM, and Ruby gems, I would say that gives us, with most of our customers, about 85 to 90% coverage. We're also at GitLab very focused on the developer experience, trying to, we offer a single platform for code, CI/CD, security, and artifact management. On the roadmap is adding global search integration and a unified artifact management interface. For JFrog and Sonatype, they have specialized interfaces for artifact management. Okay, next I'm going to dive into the demo. Well, I'm recording this by myself, so I don't expect any questions, but if you have some after, we can field those. All right, so I'm in a group that I own. The first thing I'll do is just hop over to the package registry. I see here that this group has 67 packages. One of the nice things that I like about the user interface here is that you can filter by the status. You can filter by package type. So I could filter just on NPM packages, for instance. I could also do a raw search, so I could search for something like SBOM, and that will return 14 packages that match that text. And you can also search by version. You could also sort here by a variety of features. But one of the things I really like is that for each time a package is published with GitLab CI, you can see the commit and the pipeline and the build metadata. So here we see which projects it was in, which branch. I could see which commit and pipeline is responsible for creating this. And then I have the ability to download the actual assets themselves, which in this case is the uh, for a generic package, it's a JSON file. We can also see some other helpful information here as to when it was last downloaded. Um, let's stick with the package registry. So I want to show some of the settings that we have. This will bring up my group level settings, and I'll dive into project level settings right after this. So for the group level settings, we offer the ability to configure how you want to handle duplicate package names. One thing I've learned from talking to a lot of customers is that there's no one approach for how they want to handle duplicates. So we've given for our GA formats the ability to choose to allow them and to choose to allow or deny exceptions. So for instance, here I'm allowing duplicates for Maven packages unless they contain the name release. I also want to, okay, yeah, these I'll skip. This is a feature in our free tier that will be getting replaced in favor of virtual registries, and same thing. And then this is more for the container registry, so I'll hop over there in a second. I just wanted to stick with the package registry settings. I just hopped into a project. This project will create the software bill of materials for a given GitLab group, but I just want to show off the settings. So for the package registry, we have the first setting we have here is to add a protected package. So you can do something like set up something that will say for anything that has a semantic version for package type Maven, NPM, or Python, generic packages are and NuGet packages are coming soon here. You can choose the minimum access level to push. So this gives you some more control and compliance over who can publish specific artifacts. And yeah, now next I want to go back to my group, uh, my top level group here, and then let's look at the container registry. So here we can see the specific image that has been published. We can see when it was published, we can see the digest, and then we can expand to see more details here. We'll talk on our roadmap, but there's a lot of room for improving and adding to this data. There's a lot of data that comes in the Docker manifest file that's not currently being displayed, but we will continue to add more metadata from the container image from the tag here as well. But here I could see the media type, the digest, the manifest digest, and where it was published to and when. Another opportunity for the roadmap here is to start adding the build provenance data for container images, and we'll review that on our roadmap. Okay, so group settings for the container registry, are there any? The one thing we have here is the dependency proxy. This feature allows you to proxy and cache container images from Docker Hub to help speed up builds and reduce bandwidth. It supports private Docker Hub accounts. It could also help you to avoid rate limits. And then we have an automatic cache cleanup here, so you can recycle the cache every 90 days. At the specific project level, we have some additional settings which I think are worth showing off. We have protected container repositories. So this allows you to select a repository path pattern. For example, I could say release star that will look for any container images that have release in the name. And then we can set a minimum access level for push. We also can add a protected container tag. So tag is a specific version of an image. And for here, I could do something like latest, or again, I could set a semantic version. And then you can choose the minimum role allowed to push and the minimum role allowed to delete. So this can help you to be sure that any tags identified with this pattern are not easily deleted. They won't be deleted by cleanup policies, and they can't be deleted from the user interface. I mentioned cleanup policies now. Let's open them up. I have a policy enabled here. From here, I can turn the policy on or off. I can choose the frequency of which I want it to run. Most customers I've seen choose to run it every day. And really what I would want you to focus on is this option here, remove these tags. So you can choose to remove any tags that are older than 7 days that basically don't have a semantic version. Or you could say any tags that don't match latest or release. And the idea is that you just want to consistently you want to consistently recycle all of those dev and build images that aren't useful to you anymore, but keep all of the ones that are important to you. Okay. Good. That was I think what I wanted to show off. One other piece that would be worth mentioning is that the container registry and package registry integrate really nicely with the secure products. You can specifically set up policies for things like a scan execution policy that so you have to run your team of developers, they have to run container scanning. You can set up a vulnerability management policy, pipeline execution policy. All of these things can be configured to control and minimize the risk of any security issues in either of your registries. And I should also say that we have support for on-demand scans, which will just continuously, you can run at any time. Okay, I want to hop back over to the presentation. If you have any questions on the demo, please feel free to reach out to me. Okay, let's go back and present. Okay. Here I've pulled up the package registry roadmap from the current date all the way through Q4. I'm sorry, these dates are wrong. Sometimes I get the fiscal year mixed up with the calendar year. I apologize for that confusion. So this goes from, and let me make sure it's fixed on the next slide too. Okay, good. So this slide shows the package registry roadmap from now through the end of 2026. Now, if you just glance at this, the things that I want to jump out at you are our primary focus for the next 2 years is ensuring that GitLab adds virtual registry support for all of our GA formats. So for Maven, NPM, Python, and NuGet, we have them slated back to back to release support for them. We have Maven is starting to launch in beta in Q2 and will be GA by Q3 of this year. Right after that's done, or even a little bit before, we'll start working on the same thing for NPM. After these two are done, I expect the development of PyPI and NuGet to go significantly faster because of a lot of the scaffolding that was required for building the initial implementations will have already been done. So we really see the acceleration of these features in the first half of 2026. We're also another major boulder that we're pushing is just I showed off during the demo the package protection rules. in Q2, Q3, we'll be launching support for push protection, not just delete protection for packages. And then I mentioned the GA formats that we have. A couple of formats that we would like to add over the next year and a half or 2 years is Debian, RPM, and Ruby gems. These are the three formats that we don't support that I hear most frequently requested from customers. It also just so happens that there is a really useful dog fooding or internal use case for GitLab as well. So we're very excited to launch at first, it will be local repositories only, but if demand requires it, we'll add virtual registry support for these formats as well. Another feature that I get asked about pretty often is a dependency firewall. So the ability to filter out known vulnerabilities from being downloaded from the internet. I had hoped that we were going to get this done in 2025, but we recently had to postpone this to 2026 in favor of the Debian, RPM, and Ruby gems support. I should mention that the virtual registry features will all be in the premium tier, adding the push protection, since this is very similar to protected branches and protected packages, that'll be in the free tier, and all GitLab hosted local repositories. So even for Debian, RPM, and Ruby gems will be in the free tier as well. And the dependency firewall, which will be a security related feature, will be in Ultimate. On the container registry side, there are a few things worth calling out. You'll notice that I'm still using the same legend where red is the free tier. We also have an extra label here. Let's just delete that. Okay. So in this quarter, we've actually already launched support for protected container tags. This was included in the last release, 17.11. And right now we're working on support for immutable tags. So protected, they can still be overwritten by an owner or an admin. An immutable tag can't be deleted by anyone. So if you have specific releases or you have compliance standards that your released images can never be deleted, this feature is coming out soon. In addition, later this year, and starting in Q3 and moving through to the end of Q4 of 2025, we'll be expanding the dependency proxy for containers. That's that feature I mentioned that can help you proxy and cache container images from Docker Hub to cover other external container registries like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Quay, Harbor. I might be missing one, but the goal is that we're going to have 90% coverage of all of the we'll have support for all of the major container registries. So you can configure an ordered list from which to proxy and cache your container images from. The next one is a big block. It's ongoing work that requires not just my team, the package team, but also the team responsible for how GitLab gets shipped to our self-managed and dedicated customers is getting that next generation container registry, which is already available on gitlab.com, to GA on by default for new GitLab self-managed customers and for GitLab dedicated. The work of getting this automatically included has taken longer than expected, but we are targeting by early next year to have this work done. The next feature I'm really excited about, I talk to customers regularly who are concerned about storage costs for their container registry, especially on the self-managed front. Our current cleanup policies are useful, but there are a few just sort of usability improvements that I think will move the needle. For instance, adding a preview or dry run of any specific policy. Regex is complicated, and if you're asking people to create that, it would be nice to be able to preview what the policy does before saving it and then having to wait a day and troubleshoot what went wrong. And then the other thing that you may have noticed is that I configured it for a specific project. But if you're an enterprise and you have thousands of projects, we really want to add the ability where you can configure this at the root group level and then have those settings cascade down to individual projects. Those are the two of the biggest improvements that I want to make. And the third being that it was kind of redundant there, that where it said to just improving the UX. Let me summarize it that way. There, since adding protected tags and immutable tags, we really need to just focus on the deletion story. So improving the usability, adding the preview and dry run, and having cascading settings from the root group are features that we really want to add early next year. The next feature is build provenance. I showed this off for the package registry where you could see that an artifact was built by a specific pipeline, commit, and job. We need to add that same thing for the container registry. For users who are interested, you could do this now using cosign and custom scripting, but we need to build it into the GitLab product. I mentioned the dependency firewall on the previous slide. We'll have to do the same thing for the container registry, basically allowing you to, at the minimum, set an allow deny list for containers and their dependencies, and then also being able to filter out and create policies based on known vulnerabilities. So you're preventing any vulnerabilities from entering into your development lifecycle. And then finally, something that I'm really excited to get to, but we won't get to until late next year is usage insights into the container registry. So who's downloading which images, which projects are they being used in? So you can quickly, as a platform engineer, understand are people using the approved images that my team's creating? If not, why? And if I find a vulnerability, can I quickly understand what is the impact across all of GitLab? How many projects is it being used in? How often has that been downloaded? Those are key features that will be great to add, but are a little bit behind some of our other planned functionality for the next year and a half. Cool. I will share this presentation with you that I am also linking here some what I think are some useful resources. There's tutorials here on the one I'd specifically highlight is how do you structure your registry for the enterprise scale? There's open questions here about do I publish to the group? Do I users download from the group? So this kind of answers. It talks about publishing to the project, but downloading from the root group so that you can maintain security best practices, not overgrant permissions, but also work as efficiently as possible. And then there are also some tutorials here on how to annotate container images and add build provenance with cosign, and how to reduce container registry storage. All right. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. I also recommend that you consider checking out the package direction page. This has our most up-to-date roadmap. You could find things here like what we're working on, why, how we compare to individual point solutions like JFrog and Sonatype, and a lot more helpful details. You can even plug this into UI and ask into AI and ask AI to summarize it for you or pull out any relevant information. Okay, thank you very much. And yeah, I'll look forward to talking to you.